for 15, 16, maybe 22 weeks, who knows? And then all of a sudden you get the championship ring, and then you get the postseason awards, and that's definitely good news. Running back Tamron Smith and kicker Jeff Wilkins were named to the second team of the Sports Network Division I AA All-American poll today. Smith is the Penguins' all-time leading rusher, while Wilkins kicked himself into the record books as the Penguins' all-time leading scorer. So once again, congratulations, Tamron Smith and Jeff Wilkins. Now in pro football, the Steelers have backed themselves into a corner if they want to make the playoffs. After losing to Seattle yesterday, that didn't help their matters. The Seahawks rushed for a season-high 267 yards, and leading the pack was John Vaughn. The Steelers couldn't generate any offense and could only muster 2 Gary Anderson field goals in losing 16-6. Pittsburgh, though, still has a shot to make the playoffs as a wild card, but they need some help. Now, here's the way things hook up. If Miami beats San Diego tonight, they make it as a wild card. The Steelers would then have to beat Cleveland, and the Jets would have to lose to Houston, and the Raiders would have to lose to Denver. Now, if Miami loses tonight, the Steelers would still have to beat Cleveland, but the Raiders would have to lose to Denver, and Miami would have to lose to New England. So the Steelers still have some possibilities, but the main thing is they would have to beat Cleveland. Now, speaking of the Browns, they put on their best offensive performance yesterday, downing the hapless L.A. Rams 42-14. And what a day for Vinny Testaverde, as he set a new NFL completion percentage record of 91.3 after going 21 of 23 for 216 yards and a pair of touchdown passes to Keenan McCardle. The Browns' special teams also shined. How about Mark Carrier? He had a 56-yard punt return filling in for the injured Eric Metcalf. This is the Browns' third punt return of the season. Cleveland can finish the campaign at 8-8 with the win over Pittsburgh Sunday at Three Rivers Stadium. Now, Washington Redskin quarterback Mark Rippon doesn't expect to be back with the team next year. Following yesterday's loss, Rippon told the Washington Post that he has no concrete basis, but says, "I just have a sense that now might be the time." The Redskins are 4-11 following Sunday's 35-3 pasting by the Cowboys. This past high school football season produced some great moments, but before the final chapter can be written, it's time to honor the WFMJ Mahoney National Bank Teams of the Year. 21's Mike Ackelson has more.
The High School Football Team of the Year is brought to you by Mahoning National Bank, celebrating 125 years of service to our community.
Each week throughout the high school football season, WFMJ and Mahoning National Bank honored the Team of the Week. Now it's time to crown the 5 divisional champions of the year from the area.
We'll kick it off in Division 5, where the honor goes to the McDonald Blue Devils. They're coming off an 8-2 campaign, and it also marks the 15th consecutive year the Blue Devils have had a winning season.
We believe tradition gets us at least one win throughout the season that maybe we wouldn't get normally. And our kids know they have to maintain that tradition, at least attempt and work hard to maintain that tradition. So we're always talking tradition.
The Division 4 Team of the Year, the Springfield Tigers. They had a perfect regular season mark of 10-0. They also made a trip to the state playoffs.
We've got to raise our standards. You know, we just have to decide that what's been happening here just isn't good enough for us. And boy, they did that. The persistence of these guys, you know, from where they started from and how they hung in there. And you know, these guys were a great example of, you know, the power of setting goals. I mean, these guys set some pretty heavy-duty, high, lofty goals at the beginning of the year.
Up next, Division